is 27 minutes. Collie, just turn around and look at that clock for me, will you? Yeah, 27 minutes. Yeah, thereabouts. Mental arithmetic was never my strong point. 27 minutes to midday, and we are going to talk all things movies. I'm joined in studio by Collie McFadgen, and we're going to take a run through what's in the movies at the moment and what's coming up over the next couple of weeks as well. Good morning, Collie.
Good morning. It's great to be here again, even if you threw me off slightly with the maths test. Also, I'm vain enough that even though we're on the radio, but I assume there's a webcam, I'm not wearing my glasses.
You're not that easily phased.
Yeah. So I was a little worried, but
not at all.
We're good.
Not at all. Plenty to talk about movie-wise this month, right? Because we've had the juggernaut that was Barbie and Oppenheimer, or Barbenheimer.
And funny, so it was just about a month ago, we were talking about this. We were mentioning a few movies, but we were mentioning it, and you were going, oh yeah, it seems to be a bit of hype. And I said, yeah, I think this could be a thing. If only I'd known. It was crazy, and it's crazy worldwide, and it's amazing. It's one of those things, because it was totally organic. Obviously, they've worked very hard. All you have to do is look at Warner Brothers, how much pink they put out in the world to promote Barbie. The same with Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy and Christopher Nolan. They don't really do a lot of press, but they were doing a lot of press for this. So they worked hard at it. But the whole Barbenheimer idea of going to see the two movies together, maybe even on the same day, that was just from the internet. And it was kind of started as a joke. And that's why it worked. Because it happened organically. If the movie companies, and we'll talk about this later, if the movie companies tried to do this, I don't think it would have worked. And this week, I know in the place I'm involved with, so Barbie's numbers are finally dropping to just crazy busy instead of absolutely mental. Yeah. But Oppenheimer has gone up, which means it is almost certainly the people who went to see Barbie the first week are now going to see Oppenheimer, and the reverse was true. And so many people dressed, you could see them because they were dressed up for it, did go and see the two movies in the same day. Now, I must admit, I did as well. But that was through necessity. I had to watch Oppenheimer at 8 a.m. on the Thursday before Barbenheimer Day, and I had to watch Barbie at midnight that night. By the time the day arrived itself, I was wired. And my boss was kind of saying, he says, I don't know, will it be that busy really? And I said, look around the corner of the cinema. Yeah. And there was a line of ladies dressed in pink. It was like a Grease tribute show. I think, and this is for the 12 o'clock show, I feel it's going to be busy. And look, the other thing that worked about it, Rory, I don't know yet if I know you're so busy you probably haven't got to see either of them.
I've seen both of them.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was sort of worried as well, because I was worried if I haven't seen Barbie, will I understand Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Well, Barbie's as much about
success of the
Barbie's as much about death as Oppenheimer in a really weird way. I've seen both of them. Well, let me shut up for once. What did you think?
I love them. No. Let's get this straight, right? Oppenheimer, saw it first. Yeah. Absolutely loved it. Great show. Yeah. And I was concerned with the running time. Yeah. It was 3 hours. I was like,
it's a long movie, yep.
Didn't notice it going in at all. It is so interesting. And I'm normally not a fan of, the non-linear form of storytelling, where you're jumping over and back. I loved it. I loved it.
I completely agree with everything you've said, particularly the non-linear. Even in Dunkirk, which I did like, the time signature kind of messed me up, and that's really Christopher Nolan thing. But I thought it worked, and I thought the black and white, when it was kind of the TV scheduled hearings with Robert Downey Jr. But it is, a lot of it is just men in rooms talking, right? That's it. Even the nuclear bomb part isn't maybe quite, it's brilliant, but it's not as dramatic. I thought there'd be far more explosions, there'd be far more of that. A lot of it is people in rooms talking, and yet I was gripped. And as I said, I watched it at 8 a.m. and I was gripped by it.
But a lot of it, I think, is Cillian Murphy's performance. It just sucks you in.
He's magnetic, isn't he? You cannot take your eyes off him, whether he's talking or not. And I don't know if Robert Oppenheimer actually had that sort of charisma, but it just drips off the scene. And then when he's with Robert Downey Jr., another very charismatic actor, the scenes, the sparks are almost flying there, let alone with the atomic bomb. And I thought it was engaging and brilliant. And as you said, it's the highest praise indeed, because I have to watch a lot of movies, and even the ones I love, it's very rare I don't say, could have been 15 minutes shorter. I think it was Roger Corman who used to say, every movie should be 10 minutes shorter and have an exploding helicopter in it, right? But I would feel that, and I really enjoyed it. Now,
And now, the other side, Barbie.
Yeah.
thought it was rubbish.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
But when I say rubbish, right, I mean rubbish in the most positive way possible. I mean, there's a lot of funny moments, and I laughed out loud a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it is rubbish in terms of, it's not intellectual. It's not, you know, you're not going to come out, you know, very pensive and discussing it. It's just, it's rubbish, but it's rubbish in the most fun way.
So you mean like
possible.
candy floss sort of way?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting because I agree with half of what you said. I do. I think there's actually an awful lot of stuff in it. But of course, the whole point is, and this is, you know, this is maybe media to begin with, we're two men talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, we are the audience, but we're not the target audience. Yeah. And I know an awful lot of people that the intern that works for us that you met helped us here before. She's from America. She's been to see it 3 times and feels it's incredibly inspirational because the message of that you can be smart and like sparkly things to her means good because she's always contrasted. She's she's going to be a PhD student, but she likes dressing up as a girly girl and feels I don't get taken seriously because I like fashion and I'm smart. And there's a lot of that about Barbie. But yes, you're right that a lot of the best jokes there's look, the Supreme Court, I thought I was going to rupture something in the cinema. I absolutely loved it and I adored it. And I think that I would slightly disagree with you there, but it doesn't matter because that's the joy of cinema, that you bring in or you take away what you bring in, and that's quoting Mark Kermode, because you can get that sort of stuff. I maybe went in looking for that stuff, and you went in for something. You went in not to be annoyed. Let's be honest, didn't you?
I mean, what, not to be annoyed?
Yeah, you thought I'm going to hate this.
Annoyed. Yeah, I was annoyed in there. But the reason I was annoyed is because we were in the same theatre as the Late family. Yeah. The family with the extremely overactive bladders. Yeah. The family. You know. Yeah. So, and I'm one of these people. When I go and see a movie. Yeah. You know, I want everybody shut up. If it's funny. Yeah, laugh. Yeah. But other than that, stay quiet.
You should have my job. You should be projecting this. Come down there. We'll find something that the calendar you want to see. Yeah. But like,
I am a nightmare. Yeah. To go, and I have no problem with going shh. Yeah. Or
I feel if more of us did that, it actually would help in the long run. Not be mean, but that's it. But even that, right? So generally, a year ago when we were describing those 2 movies, though, there would be no chance. I would have said Oppenheimer definitely for Rory. Barbie, he's not even going to know it's on, let alone go and see it.
How could you miss?
The fact that they got an interest. But what was mad about it, Rory, is that other movies did well too, started doing better. Now, the Irish weather certainly helps too. Let's be honest, which is part of the phenomenon. But then, like things like Mission Impossible, their numbers, Indiana Jones, their numbers went up, haven't been dropping in the previous weeks because people just. Cinemas were on the TV, they were on radio reports, you were reporting about it here on the news. People were going, oh, look at the queues. So people went, do you know what? I might go to the cinema too. And it's great.
And there's the old Irish thing, there'll be no need to book, so we'll just rock up 10 minutes before the show. No, we've been sold out for 4 days. So we're here now, we'll go see something else.
And that was great. And then I enjoyed it. And look, one of the joys, the only downside of what I do now is that I tend to know what I'm about to see. And I would love that again. I'd love a secret screening. I love to be surprised by things. Yeah. And hopefully we'll have a couple of surprises coming up. But the most surprising thing is the crossover and just the joy. Now, I said earlier they're trying to do, you can see already the movie companies going, Barbenheimer, what a great idea. And they're looking at stuff. Now, in America, on the same day, Saw 10 and the new Paw Patrol movie comes out, right? And they're calling they're calling it Saw Patrol, right?
Right, okay.
And I just can't see, those horrible, cruel vigilante fascists, and then the Saw movie as well. I just don't see that being a good mix. No, I don't think that one's going to work. But I guarantee you, with Napoleon, with Killers of the Flower Moon, the big winter movies, June 2, they're going to be looking for some contrast, and it won't work because they're trying to force it. Yeah. And it's been a great month for the cinema.
This merging and the viral campaign, it was a sort of a lightning in a bottle type thing.
Absolutely.
I don't in living memory, I don't remember anything as big as the hype. Yeah. Apart from maybe, 20 years ago, Lord of the Rings, maybe Star Wars back in 2015, but it doesn't come along.
And the contrast, and maybe that was the fun, because the movies are so different, and that generally they would say nobody would go and see both these movies except people who work in cinemas and movie critics. And that's the difference, where they manage to get people who go, I gotta see what it's like. I got to see what the hype is. So Barbie fans went to Oppenheimer and vice versa. It's great.
Now, moving on, if we can move on from Barbenheimer. Meg 2.
Okay. This is not going to have queues around the block in the same way. Although, I have to say, this is the other contrast to my job. So I watched this on Thursday morning, right? And then I came out and they had the reviews embargoed till Friday morning when the movie comes out, which is never a good sign, right? And the reviews were stinking. Worse than, I was going to say worse than Transformers, but I got in trouble for that before. So, terrible reviews. And all I could think is, I quite liked it, Rory. It's Jason Statham punching sharks in the face.
Is it so bad it's good?
Yeah,
right,
it is. And I think the thing is, Jason Statham knows it's bad. Like, there's definitely a twinkle in the eye when he's going, oh, not another Meg, you know. And that they're coming up. So Megs are giant sharks, right? So it's Jaws without the plot of the sense.
It's got a subtitle. It's Meg 2, The Trench.
Yeah, the trench is where the Megs live. It's like the prehistoric creatures still survive there. It's a very old movie plot. They escape. There's bad guys. It's clearly half financed by a Chinese company. So there's a Chinese megastar in the movie, and they're kind of co-leads. And you know, if you watched it in China, Jason Statham's role's a bit lower, and this guy's role's a bit higher, and that's how they do it. And like, it is shoddy in some ways. The effects are okay, but you know the way we were talking about Mission Impossible, everything feels so real. Like, you go, that's clearly a CGI squid, obviously, because, you know, but there's no even...
Because they don't exist.
Yeah, but there's no plastic or anything involved. It is rubbish. But, like, the one-liners are so corny. I found myself laughing. And the great soundtrack, all shark-related music, barracuda by Heart and all these sort of 80s rock stuff, as Jason Statham is going around in a jet ski punching sharks. Now, if that doesn't... That might be your cup of tea, being the thespian that you are. But there are people out there listening going, Jason Statham, does he then take his top off and punch sharks? I am totally in for it. And if you are, this is the one for you. Dumb bank holiday. It's rainy. You've seen all the other movies and you just want to eat popcorn and you do not want to use your brain. This is one of the two movies here. Yeah.
The Trench is for you. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to talk movies with Collie McFadgen, and we are going now to talk. We're going to get a little bit nostalgic here. We're going to talk. We're going to talk turtles. We're going to talk turtles.
Well, turtles, and I was wondering about this one when it came out. So I am slightly the wrong generation to be a turtles nut, because it was just a wee bit too old when the cartoon, which was called Hero Turtles over here, if you remember, because they couldn't say ninja. And then the movies, and I just wrong generation, and they've kind of tried to reboot it, and they've never quite caught the magic of both I think the original comics, but that particular cartoon series that came out in 80, he's a radical rat that everyone loved. The music's playing in your head right now, right? Yeah. And it was really good, but they seem to have done it, and it's actually Seth Rogen and a few other Hollywood people who loved it when they were kids, who've gone back. Now, it is animated, and it's very much the pizza-loving, wisecracking dudes with really nice animation. Now, I have to be honest, I only watched the first half an hour of it because, they made me work, Rory, to do a proper part of the job. But, I'll make up for it. But it was both nostalgic, but this is important. If you're 8 now, you'll just go, that's deadly. You won't, because you're not going for nostalgia. There's no point in playing it just for the parents, because that's not going to work. Only a few of them are going to watch it, and they're probably not going to go to the cinema. It's working for everyone. The whole concept, the same way that when you were 8 and you heard about pizza-loving ninja turtles that solve crimes and, have a sensei who's a rat, and you go, in. They have the same spirit and the same sort of attitude. They are teenagers. They're kind of younger teenagers, and they're silly and they belch and they make mistakes. And
am I right in thinking that it's more faithful, quote unquote, to the original cartoon? As and that cartoon was a big departure from the comic books where it originated.
It's a wee bit darker, I think, the comic book. This is much more, it's the children's TV cartoon. That's the spirit I got of it. Slightly cheeky, but nothing too rude, never too dark, nothing really bad's going to happen. And also, not the sort of trying to be too down with the kids of the live action movies. I say live action, they were people in Turtles age. But where they're trying
Don't diss them though.
But they're trying to be too topical of their time, and it never works. It's old people. It's people like me trying to write, young people will talk like this and they will rap like this, and you go, the Turtles like Vanilla Ice. No, they don't. No, they wouldn't. All of that sort of stuff. It's really good fun.
Okay. So that's in theaters at
Right
the
now.
moment. That's
Right
in
now.
theaters at the moment.
Bank
All right,
holiday
so
treat, yeah.
Bank holiday treat for all the family. That's and is it called Teenage Mutant
TMNT
Ninja?
Mayhem.
TMNT Mayhem. All right.
Just say the Turtles. Every cinema in Ireland will know what you mean.
the Dirty Dog movie we're going to talk about. Here's Strays.
I did want to mention both this. So we've got this and Joyride are both. One's out right now and the other one's coming out next week, right?
Okay.
But the people see the posters and go, "Oh, Mum, can I go and see this?" And this is going to be a problem for families with strays. They're going to go in and see. It's all about cute dogs. It's a group of dogs who go around and one of them's stray and he gets picked up by other strays and they have a lovely time. But the trailer is the sweariest trailer I have ever seen.
Oh.
It is very much for over 16s.
Okay.
Do not watch the trailer in front of little people, but do watch the trailer. People are going to love this.
Okay, so this is sort of like the TED.
That's exactly.
Of dogs.
That's exactly what it is. And it's by the same people who made Ted. So
Oh, well, there we go.
If you love Ted, I was working up that one. If you love Ted, you love this. But I just thought maybe we should mention, because I know people will see the cute poster and go, will we bring the kids there? Now, obviously the cinemas are not going to let people in, but you don't want to have to break it to 5-year-old little Michelle going, I'm sorry, the dog's going to call everyone names and then he's going to bite things that you don't want to see.
Oh.
Let's not show that. But if you're a parent and you like that, I would recommend it. And I'd also recommend Joyride, which is out at the moment, which... I was trying not to say the phrase bridesmaids go to China, but this is exactly what it is. If you like the film Bridesmaids, it's a load of Asian Americans who go to China and try and fit in as locals because they're of Asian heritage, and of course they really, really don't. I watched this yesterday. It's riotously funny. Again, a bit like Barbie. I found it very funny, but I know women will find it twice as funny because I don't even understand some of the jokes.
Yeah,
I don't even. I was going to say don't bring your granny, but I always think grannies probably love it, but you just don't want to be sitting next to your granny and go, "Granny, I didn't know you knew that word meant." Right?
Well, grannies were young once.
Yeah, yes. There's a reason we're all here, if you know what I mean.
Right, so bank holiday treats for all the family, whatever your taste may be. We've got Meg 2, TMNT, Mayhem, Strays, and Joyride. Now, as well as that, it's Disney's 100th anniversary this year.
Yeah, happy birthday, world. So Disney's been out for 100 years, and they're doing a really nice idea where they're releasing a classic movie from each decade of it, starting with Snow White, which of course was the first movie. It's a great old genre. When Walt Disney went to release Snow White, it was about an hour and 20 minutes. They said nobody could watch a cartoon for that long. 5-10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
People can't watch a cartoon. And now how many billions have Pixar and Disney made out of the stuff? But at the time people went, nah, nobody would watch that. It will never work. He was told he was a fool for doing Snow White, and it won an Oscar. And then, so they're going to do one every year. I think they're skipping a break because they have a new Disney movie called Haunted Mansion out next week. But then, so it starts with Snow White, then it goes to Bambi. So prefer to have children fall in love and be traumatized, generate. But
everyone remembers.
All Disney movies have that, and it goes right. It goes Jungle Book, it goes Cinderella, Peter Pan, right up to Frozen. And let's face it, even in Frozen, spoiler alert, things don't work out great for the parents. There's always been that sense of tragedy.
But Disney, there always has been. There's always an undertone of Shakespeare. Should we take a look at The Lion King? All those. Even though it's not in your face, it's there in the background. But it's
always been there. There's always a poignancy and missing. And Toy Story is one of them. Toy Story is all about loss and loss of youth and friendship and all that sort of stuff. There's always, and it just goes to show you. Sometimes, I'm not saying we shouldn't be protective for kids. Do not bring them to strays. I can't stress that enough. But also that they do like a bit of darkness, because that gives a flavour. That makes them care. And Disney were always brilliant at that. There was always a scary bit in a Disney. Whereas Snow White, the witch giving her the apple, to right up to Frozen with the bad guys in Frozen. And I think it's a brilliant idea. And sorry, Rory, I know we're running out of time, but nearly all of the cinemas.
He notices.
Yeah, I just don't care. Nearly all of the cinemas are doing those at a budget price as well, which is even better.
Okay.
Check your listings for your local cinema. Nearly all of them are doing it for €5 or €4
Are these been released monthly?
Weekly
Okay.
with one gap. So, but they only run for 1 week and then they're gone. So you have to see Snow White this week. Otherwise, that's your chance.
And it's only the animated classics. So we're not talking any of the remakes, the live actions.
No, nothing. It's only the animated classics. It is the one. When you think Jungle Book, when you think of any of these movies, this is the one in your head. That cartoon, that's the one. Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, all of these, Princess and the Frog. this is the one that they're doing. Classic stuff and at a budget. Especially, you know, summer's been expensive. You spent loads of money on the pig stuff for Barbie, and then there was less dressing up for Oppenheimer, but you get the idea. And now you can go and see this at a budget.
Yeah.
Why
That's
not?
brilliant. A wet Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic.
You know, nice treat for all the family. Collie, thanks as ever for coming to see us. We'll be talking to you again next month. What are we going to be talking next month?
We're definitely going to be talking the creators, kind of grown-up movies, because we're back to school.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of older movies. The creator, a couple of thrillers coming out, Equalizer 3, loads of serious stuff. Get your teeth into it.
Plenty to talk about. Okay. Collie McFadgen there talking.